Hello and welcome to Odds on La Liga, Matchday 7. Yes, we are not even in October and already Matchday 7 again. Midweek games, in this case 8. And we have, of course, Alvaro Romeo to talk about Spanish La Liga injuries. Sadly, we've lost Ter Stegen in La Liga for the whole year and we are still enjoying so much Lamine Yamal. Perhaps right now is the best player in the world, Alvaro, could be?
Well, I have heard that a few times over the last 48 hours. He's one of the best. Okay, I'm going to give him the best possible compliment that I can give to a footballer, I guess. He's the player that I most look forward to watch, every weekend. I don't know if he's the best. Obviously, he's not the most deadly yet, because that honor goes to Haaland, Mbappé, maybe Vinicius, but he is definitely a joy to watch. And at the age of 17, the lightness of his game and the way he understands the game is very remarkable. It's very difficult to be that good, that young, but he is. And, Barcelona has found a little gem over there. I guess that his contract extension is not going to be easy because he is going to demand a lot of money, and rightly so. But he's a terrific footballer, and he's one of the reasons why Barcelona is topping the table.
Well, let's talk about the Spanish La Liga. Also, Vinicius, of course. It looks like he's going to win this year's Ballon d'Or. So, guys, remember to leave your comments. Of course, please press the like, subscribe, and now let's go on with the show. We go with the show. We go directly with the show without intro. Why not, Alvaro? Let's analyze. Let's start. There is no problem. No intro. We start analyzing Sevilla, Valladolid on Tuesday. Rumors say that if Sevilla are not able to win this game, 𝗵𝗵𝗧𝗏 is going to get sacked. And this is sad news for Sevilla because probably the problem is not on the bench, but with Horta, with Del Nido, with the people that are commanding the club. They lost to Alaves 2-1. Even Saúl is now the captain, only with 5 games in the club. He said that there is a problem in the dressing room, that players are not running enough. Only 1 win this season. Luckily for Sevilla, Alvaro, they are playing against Valladolid, only 5 points and only 2 goals scored. They cannot score.
Yeah, this is the best thing for Sevilla, that I think that they are going to win this game. In fact, I'm going to go straight to the point. My bet here is Sevilla to win, 167. Not that Sevilla is a great side. You have spoken about 𝗵𝗵𝗧𝗏, the coach, being under heavy questioning, not necessarily by the fans, but by the board. This is the rumor. But Sevilla and Sevilla's board should look at themselves in the mirror. Over the last 24 months, 2 years, they have had Lopetegui, Sampaoli, Mendilibar, Diego Alonso, Quique Sánchez Flores, and 𝗵𝗵𝗧𝗏 as managers. 6 in 24 months. And this is not sustainable. You cannot keep sacking managers. Maybe your problem is that you haven't crafted a good squad and you haven't given some time to the manager. Of course, Lopetegui left after 3.5 years in charge. All right, he had a cycle there. But Sampaoli, Mendilibar, especially Diego Alonso, Quique Sánchez Flores, they didn't have enough time to prove their worth. And Mendilibar, in just 5 months, he won the Europa League for them. But Sevilla's trajectory is a descending one. Look, I'm going to tell you their point tally in the last 4 seasons, and you will see what the pattern is. 77 points, the next season 70, the season after 49, and last season 41. This is Sevilla right now. And whatever dream they have of fighting again for the big trophies and qualifying for the Champions League, that will be delusional. Sevilla's referential footballers right now are the likes of Saúl, as you said, and Saúl has been there only 6 games and he's already the captain. Luque Bacchio, Nyland, Montiel, 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀, Navas, those are the referential players, but they are not top players internationally. This is the truth for Sevilla. And 𝗵𝗵𝗧𝗏 is doing changes. He introduced 5 changes from the penultimate game to the last game because he's still looking for a lineup. It's still work in progress. But still, one of the best things of Sevilla is that at home, normally they tend to do the job. Their only win this season, in fact, has been at home, and it was against Getafe, as far as I can remember, and I think that they can beat Valladolid at home. A Valladolid team, by the way, that has conceded a lot of goals. In fact, it's the team in La Liga that has conceded more goals altogether with Villarreal and Celta. But there is something that we have to say about Valladolid. Villarreal and Celta haven't recorded a single clean sheet in La Liga so far. Valladolid hasn't recorded 3. So we can say that against Real Madrid, Celta and Barcelona, they collapsed. They had a very bad day at the office. But generally speaking, when they play against sides of their level, the scorelines are low. All that said, again, I'm going to say that Sevilla is going to win it because they are better, because they got more experience in the top flight, they got better players, and they need to win. Otherwise, the situation is going to be unsustainable for the institution. Sevilla to win 167.
They have a minus 11 goal difference. Is the team with less goals scored, only 2, and with more goals conceded, as you said, 13. It looks like it's going to be a really nervy game, similar to the one we saw against Getafe. That one was won thanks to the goal scored by Jesus Navas. But as Milad is saying, too much pressure on this Sevilla to win and get the 3 points. Also, 𝐜𝐿𝐴 Romero picked up an injury. Apparently, it's not that important against Alaves, but is one of the most important players of this Sevilla. Under pressure, many people, by the way, Alvaro, are disappointed by the other team of the city, Betis, losing yesterday on Monday against Mallorca in the last game of the previous match day. Let's see if Sevilla are able to win. The odds are quite low, by the way, to back Sevilla. Another team in danger, Valencia. Next game, Valencia, Osasuna, only 4 points, but luckily they were able to win against Girona, first win of the season. They were a bit lucky, to be honest, if you check the game and the goals. The 2 goals came with 2 deflections, but they got the 3 points. And be careful, because this Osasuna is very strong, especially at home. And I guess, Alvaro, they could be dangerous in Mestalla, even if they lost already this season in Vallecas and Girona.
0 points away for Osasuna, but 10 points in total, because at home they've been very good. This is their second best start in La Liga in 10 years. It's a very good start, obviously. This game is kind of a pass for me, all right, because I've got the temptation to back Osasuna with a win, all right, because it pays a lot of money, and I don't think it's that impossible. I think that Osasuna, in fact, is a better side than Valencia right now, even though maybe in May, both sides they are going to be mid-table. That's a possibility that I take into consideration. But of course, right now Osasuna is a better side. So the money, if you think that Osasuna can win, and if you have a strong belief about that, go for it. Osasuna also has dangerous players with Budimir and Brian Zaragoza up front, and the Aimar Oroz is scoring midfielder too. So they are dangerous. They can do it. But on the other hand, Valencia the other day got a win against Girona. It was, by the way, the first time in 9 months that they won for a 2-goal margin. So that tells you that Valencia has been suffering a lot to grind out decent results over the last half a year, sorry. But Valencia got also all their points at home. This is very important. Valencia got all their points at home, and Osasuna didn't get any point away. So that inevitably points me in the direction of Valencia to get something positive, a draw or a win. So I'm going to stay in between, and I'm going to go for an Asian handicap minus 0.25, 179. I am totally aware that Hugo Duro and Rafa Mir both could be out, but I think that both of them haven't been too pivotal for Valencia to get what they have so far. So, as I said before, this is almost like a little bit of a pass for me, all right? I wouldn't risk my money here. But if you believe that Osasuna can win it, again, no points away from home, the money is great. Go for it, obviously, if you have that belief. But personally, I believe that Valencia can grind out a little bit here. So my bet will be Asian handicap minus 0.25.
Okay, both teams to score. For Keenan, Mimi is telling us that he cannot trust Valencia. It's also a pass for him. and Nova is going for Osasuna, double chance, and under 4.5 goals. So, as you can see, there are plenty of options. It's not an easy game to bet. For Alvaro, it's much easier to bet on Real Madrid games because Real Madrid to win the second half, Real Madrid -1, -2 in the second half is happening. I read the other day only one goal scored by Real Madrid in the first half this season. This is a crazy stats, and it happened again against Espanyol. They played slightly better, but they had to come back and score 4 goals in the second half against Espanyol, with Vinicius coming from the bench. Also, 𝗀𝗏𝗏 shining. Let's see if we can see 𝗀𝗏𝗏 from the start in this game. 𝗵𝗏𝗏 is not playing. He picked up a small injury. He will be available for Atletico de Madrid. Remember, there is a Madrid derby on the weekend. And Álvaro, Alaves, great start of the season, 10 points. Amazing start.
No, a very good start for Alaves, beating Real Sociedad away, beating, for example, I think they did beat Sevilla at home, if I'm not incorrect. In the last game, in fact, they beat Las Palmas at home as well. 10 points out of 18, you know. This is the kind of point tally that Alaves could have dreamt of, really. It's a very good start. And they have won 3 of the last 4, obviously. I watched the part of the game against Sevilla, and there were a few things that worked very well for Alaves. Number one, the long balls behind the defense of Sevilla for Carlos Vicente, for him to run forward, paid dividends for Alaves. Also then the striker 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏𝗏, who is not Bulgarian. He is in fact from Spain, but they call him 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 anyway. That's his nickname. He's been pretty decent. I think that Toni Martín, the former Porto player, he is dangerous as well. So Alaves has been able to add to the good defense they have dangerous players up front. And they are not so far missing Luis Rioja, who was probably the best player of Alaves in the last 4 years. Luis Rioja is no longer there. Alaves has had a good start, right? But obviously, they are playing at Santiago Bernabéu, and this is one of the toughest challenges in world football right now. I mean, Real Madrid has been unbeaten 38 league games. The last time they lost in the league was against Atletico de Madrid in September last year. They remain the best defense in the league. Altogether with Atletico, they have conceded only 3 goals. Vinicius, who looked shaky a week ago, then last weekend he came out from the bench and he looked very fast again. And only in 4 days he recovered his pace and his appetite and his dribbling abilities. And Real Madrid, on top of that, has the privilege of rotating. I think that this is going to make a difference in the long run. True, there is no 𝗵𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, but Lucas Vázquez is there, and I think that I appreciate Lucas Vázquez's contribution for Real Madrid. Has been really good over the last decade. Look, my favorite bets here are, number 1, you know me very well. Against the smaller opposition, I am going to back Real Madrid to win second halves this season because it looks like they have a slow start, and then in the second half, when they score the first goal, then the rest of the goals come very quickly. Real Madrid to win the second half, 144. This is my safe bet for the program. Also, if you could back Alaves somehow, Asian handicap +1 for Alaves in the first half, that pays 175. You know, Real Madrid not battering Alaves in the first half, that could make sense. But rather than that one, I'm going to go to the individual markets. Why? Because I think that Mbappé to score or Vinicius to score are big possibilities this season, especially at home. And, you know, we tend to believe that Mbappé and Vinicius are very different when it comes to scoring. Mbappé scores many more goals. Yes, but Vinicius' goal tally for his club in 2024 is really good. Listen to the numbers. In 2024, Vinicius has scored 21 goals for Real Madrid. Mbappé in 2024 has scored 29 club goals. So they are not that far apart one from each other. So betting on both to score at Santiago Bernabéu make a lot of sense to me, and I think the odds are quite proportionate. Mbappé to score, 170. Vinicius to score, 2.1. It depends on who do you like better, but I think that either of them scoring is a big possibility too.
Let's see if Mbappé has some rest also, because Real Madrid, they are playing against Atletico and Lille, and he hasn't rested yet, but it looks like he's gonna start. This is what journalists say, but Vinicius started on the bench in the last game against Espanyol. We have many comments about this game. Madrid to win the second half again from Milad. Max, Real Madrid to score in both halves. San Martin, Real Madrid half-time and full-time, both teams to score and Real Madrid to win could be another option. Real Madrid minus 1.5 in the second half is a banker. So many options, and everyone, of course, back in Real Madrid. Vinicius will only score a penalty. Well, he scored a great goal, by the way, after 5 minutes on the pitch last match day against Espanyol, and probably he's boosted by the Ballon d'Or. On Wednesday, 2 games only. Girona, Rayo Vallecano, special game for Girona manager Michel, a legend in Rayo Vallecano. Great start from the Madrid team, got a draw against Atletico de Madrid. 8 points is a great tally. Away so far, 1 win against Real Sociedad, 1 draw and 1 defeat. And this Girona, Alvaro, I'm not sure if we should start being concerned after the defeat against Valencia, against PSG. They were unlucky because they conceded in the last minutes, even if PSG had so many chances. So 3 consecutive defeats for Girona. Time to bounce back, probably.
Yeah, look, my first impression when I approached this game was that Girona was going to win, right? Pace 177. Last season, they won a hell of, a terrific amount of, amount of games at home. That was Girona last season. That this season they are not bad, but they are suffering from, number one, the new players adapting, and number two, and more importantly, they are suffering from a congested calendar. Last season, Girona didn't get far in the cup, weren't playing in Europe, and on top of that, they were fantastic. And that's why they were fighting for Champions League spots until the very end, and they got it. This season, Girona has different issues. And they will encounter the type of issues that the likes of Betis or Real Sociedad faced last season, having to play in Europe and domestically. And that's not easy. And I know that Michel tries to rotate as well against Paris, for example. I think that rather because Paris made them do that, Girona had to change their style and defend more than they should. And then I thought that maybe traveling to Valencia would be like a good opportunity for Girona to get the points, because Valencia looked very bad, but then Valencia got the better out of Girona. So 2 defeats in a row for them, and now they are playing against Rayo Vallecano. So that's why I'm saying that my initial thought was that Girona could win this game. And it pays 177 again, but Rayo is not bad. Against Atletico the other day, they competed very well. This season, they've got pretty much good numbers. I mean, 8 points after 6 games is something that you will expect from Rayo Vallecano. Some of the opponents have suffered against them. They've got a positive goal difference, which tells you that Rayo Vallecano is competitive, that they don't concede many. They have conceded only 7. So for this game, I think that it will be a good bet as well to believe that this can be an over, because Girona is having some problems at the back, but then at home they are attacking a lot. And because Rayo Vallecano, I know that they don't have one of these referential strikers, but they can snatch a goal at Montilivi. I see that happening. I hope that 𝗀𝗵 Rodríguez can play more, because if he gets fit, he will be very important for the team. But I'm going to stay with an over 2.5 goals, 193. Remember that Girona's games normally are high scoring.
Well, most of our audience are backing actually Girona to win this game, even if Milad, for instance, is telling us that you cannot trust Girona, but this is a must win for a Champions League team, and most of our audience are backing Girona. By the way, in this video, in this match day, there are less games because the teams involved in Europa League, Athletic and Real Sociedad, they are not playing this midweek games they played. The previous one is a bit complicated, but this is why perhaps you are missing some teams and some games in this show.
Bottom line, Edu, is that Athletic Club Bilbao is in Champions League positions, thanks to this having played one more game than the rest.
Yeah, they won 3 games in a row, so they are third right now, 5 points away from Barcelona. Next game is Barcelona Getafe. Barcelona keep winning in a really stylish way, scoring plenty of goals, 5 against Villarreal, despite the injury of Ter Stegen missing the whole season. Barcelona playing with so many youngsters. You see the roster and you cannot recognize half of the squad, but Flick so far is making a miracle. Let's say how long this can last, because with so many youngsters, it's gonna be very difficult to keep this pace. But their games, Alvaro, are so entertaining. Against Villarreal, we had 15 chances. And this is really good for the football fans. Now they are facing a very defensive team like Getafe with a really poor start. Only 4 points, no wins. They couldn't even beat Leganés in the derby.
That's true, and I got that wrong. I thought that Getafe was going to be able to beat Leganés, but it didn't happen. Getafe is missing Borja Mayoral a lot. I mean, this is a side with financial constraints, as we know, and this season they only have one very good striker. 2 years ago, or last year even, they had 2 very good strikers, like 𝗵𝗛𝗏 and Borja Mayoral, which, by the way, they couldn't play together a lot because Unal got a really bad injury and then Mayoral had to do all the work on his own. But right now, Mayoral is still not there, and that's why they have scored only 3 goals. No wins recorded yet. They haven't conceded many because Getafe is still a serious side, solid side. I have praised Bordalás' job many times, but I think that he makes sure that his teams are competitive. And now Getafe is suffering a lot. And again, without firepower up front, the best thing you can get are draws. And at least Getafe is getting a few, but they need Borja Mayoral to be fit as soon as possible. Last season, Getafe played really badly against Barcelona. I remember at Montjuic, and they played so bad because Getafe played with a very high line against Barcelona, and the player who exploited that better than anybody else was Rafinha. And Rafinha to score in this game, by the way, is 2.7 if you are interested in the Brazilian scoring, because Rafinha is a footballer who has scored already 5 goals in La Liga, which is a tally or a goal ratio that normally he is not used to. Rafinha is what? A 10 to 13 goals a season footballer, and right now, he has scored already 5. So him to score and prolong his good streak and to keep on punishing Getafe will be 2.7. Lamine Yamal, by the way, we have spoken about him in the introduction, to score or assist, 1.83. And more or less, Lamine Yamal, since the Euro until now, he has an average of 1 goal or 1 assist per game. So him to score or assist, 183. But you have to praise Barcelona. I wonder how they are going to do without Ter Stegen, because Iñaki Peña played over 10 games last season and he was very poor, in my opinion. And he presented a big problem to Barcelona's defense. But Iñaki Peña, as a second choice goalkeeper, is a consequence of Barcelona that's not having any money. So you have to save some money somewhere. And Barcelona thought that they could save that money in the second choice goalkeeper. Well, now tragedy has arrived to Barcelona because Ter Stegen picked up an injury. So they will have to survive without Ter Stegen. And in the short term, they will have to survive without many injuries. And in my opinion, it's key to win as many as possible before the international break, because after the international break, Barcelona will play against Bayern and then against Real Madrid in the space of 5 days. But before that, the calendar is kind of friendly. It's kind of good for them. So I think that here they are not going to make a mistake. Barcelona is going to win it, I think. And I think Barcelona can score in both halves, 187, because they are the highest scoring team in La Liga. They have scored 22 goals in 6 games. And Getafe are going to be defensive. But the trend of Barcelona is to score many goals. Otherwise, I would like I like the Asian handicap minus 1.5 for Barcelona, 173.
Milat is asking if we can trust Barcelona clean sheet. The last 5 games between these two teams, Getafe couldn't score a goal.
Yeah,
Actually,
that's it.
last season was 4-0 at Montjuic and goalless draw in the Coliseum, and is the trend between these two teams. Many people are going also for a minus handicap for Barca, like Nova, minus 1.5, 𝗀𝗏𝗍𝗂𝗍, minus 2.5. On the other hand, Clement is going for positive handicap for Getafe, plus 1.5. It's a miracle, to be honest, what Hansi Flick is doing right now with this squad. Let's see how long it can last, in my opinion. It's very difficult to keep this pace with these players. They are not experienced at all.
No, they are not, and it's very difficult. You look at Barcelona's bench, and unless you are into football a lot, like we are, Edu, you wouldn't know half the players because they are so young. And I say again, before the international break, they are playing against Getafe, they are playing in the Champions League against young boys. They have to get all the possible points, and then pray for Olmo and Fermín to be recovered after the international break, because then Barcelona will have more players available. But it's mandatory for them to recover Frenkie, Gavi, Araujo, because otherwise this is not sustainable in the long run. I mean, Barcelona is asphyxiating some footballers. The likes of 𝗵𝗵𝗄 or Pedri are playing too much football right now.
Well, 3 more games on Thursday for this Matchday 7. Espanyol Villarreal is the first one. Villarreal, first defeat of the season, smashed by Barcelona, as we said, but it looks like Marcelino was happy because they created many chances, some goals disallowed. And away, they've already won in Mallorca and Sevilla. Espanyol, on the other hand, also put a fight against Real Madrid, but they ended up losing and won the last 2 home games against Rayo and Alaves. In this game, Alvaro, we have great odds, no matter if you are back in Espanyol or Villarreal. I think the odds are very good.
I like them. My pick, personally, is an over. Espanyol is not bad when it comes to scoring. Not good either, but it's an average side. They are just promoted. 6 goals after 6 games. All right, fine. I think that they will improve it gradually as the season goes by. But they won the last 2 games against Rayo Vallecano, and then they beat Alaves as well, scoring 3 goals against Alaves, by the way, which is not that easy. We have spoken about Alaves' defensive solidity, and they are playing against Villarreal, who is the, I would say, textbook all or nothing team. Villarreal is in European places right now, 6th on the table, and they've got a negative goal difference. They have scored 12 goals, which is 2 per game. Fantastic. And they have conceded 13. So Villarreal basically is a both teams to score game team, basically. They score, but they concede. And they've got many players who can be dangerous. And Marcelino has a deep squad, in my opinion. And Villarreal creates many chances, but they also concede many. Remember the game against Barcelona, or we can go back in time and remember the game at the Estadio de la Cerámica against Celta in August. Villarreal, in the stoppage time, I think that gave away 3 key chances for Celta, but Celta couldn't capitalize, and Villarreal did. So this is the kind of game that is going to be marked, in my opinion, by the approach of Villarreal. I think Marcelino really wants to improve the defense, but it's not working. Luckily for them, they've got a good attack. So both teams to score could be good here, but I prefer the over 2.5 goals. It pays 183, and it makes a lot of sense to me. And yes, I agree with you. The full-time market, if you have certain beliefs, all right. In my opinion, Villarreal is a slightly favorite, but still, I think that the over is more likely to happen than Villarreal winning. So that's why I go for over 2.5 goals.
Okay, Max is also going for over 2.5 goals, and some others, also Stone, going for over 2.5 goals, and both teams to score seems to be also on the table. Clement is also going for draw or Villarreal. Two more games. Unión Deportiva Las Palmas, Real Betis is the next one. Many people were disappointed by Betis' defeat on Monday in the very last minute against Mallorca. Before that, they beat Leganés and Getafe. Still a difficult team to trust. What to say also about Las Palmas? 2 points bottom of the table. Their only points came at home against Real Madrid and Sevilla. Tough one, this one, Alvaro. Very tough.
Yeah, I can see that some people are unhappy with Betis and their performance against Mallorca. All right, I can see that in the comment section. Yeah, I get it. I was one of those who believed that Betis was going to get something against them with an Asian handicap minus 0.25. I think that was my bet. But yeah, Mallorca is a good team, and without 𝗵𝗏𝗏 as well, they managed to get something out of Betis. This game for me is a bit of an under, really. Manuel Pellegrini, Betis coach, has referred to the problems that Betis has to score, and this is a reality. Betis has good midfielders, decent wingers, and still strikers to prove their worth, one of them being Vitor Roque. But why is this an under for me? Because Las Palmas has recorded no wins. They are, yes, the best scoring side from the teams in the relegation zone, but that doesn't mean that they are a good scoring side, not at all. And, on the other hand, Las Palmas knows how to get a draw at home because they got it against Sevilla and against Real Madrid, and they played very well in that game. But going forward, Las Palmas doesn't have a lot, and Betis doesn't score many. So perhaps an under 2.5 goals, 170 would be interesting here. I also kind of like the draw no bet for Betis, which I think that inevitably would lead me to not winning or not losing, because a draw is very likely here, in my opinion. But yeah, I think that this is an under. This is an under 2.5 goals, 170.
Betis win and both teams to score. Our friend Marco is telling us Las Palmas Asian handicap 0. Another one, this game is super difficult because I cannot trust Betis, I cannot trust Las Palmas, and we are seeing usually under in Betis games, but then on Monday we saw 3 goals. Let's see, because also Las Palmas manager, I'm not saying he could be in danger after his great job with Oviedo, but let's see if there is no reaction from Las Palmas, favorite number 1, to be honest, also, by the way, to be relegated. And last game is a really good one, Celta Atletico de Madrid, because we were talking last week about Atletico de Madrid and their problems last season after the European games when they are playing away. They went to Vallecas and they wasted the first half. They were very poor. Probably they deserved the win at the end, but they dropped points. They are playing the derby in the weekend, so this is a must win in a very difficult territory, because Celta at home, they've been brilliant this season. They won all 3 games, all games, by the way, both teams to score. Aspas even scored in San Mamés in the last defeat for Celta. So difficult, Alvaro, because if Atletico are not able to win here and then they go totally under pressure in the derby.
Yeah, against Real Madrid on the weekend. But this game is, for me, one of those in which goals will happen, really. And I am totally aware that Atletico has conceded only 3 goals. Real Madrid has conceded 3. Only they are, so far, to date, the best defenses in La Liga. But on the other hand, I think that Celta can set the tone a little bit here, because Celta's numbers at home are very impressive. Not only they have recorded 9 points, which is very good, but also they have scored 8 goals at home. And Yago Aspas is scoring the goals. I mean, he has scored already more goals in 6 games than he did last season in the first half of the tournament. Then 𝗵𝗏𝗏 and El Panda are rotating, but both are in the scoring charts. I mean, 𝗵𝗏𝗏 has scored 1 goal. That's all right. He doesn't play that much. And El Panda has scored 3 goals for Celta. So, the danger is there. And on top of that is the approach of Celta. Celta attacks a lot. And since Giraldez arrived, they collected many points too. Atletico de Madrid, on the other hand, they have the quality up front to score goals. We know about that. There are some things that don't make a lot of sense to me sometimes. For example, Julián Álvarez playing on the left. Julián Álvarez may not be the classic number 9, but Julián Álvarez has to play in the middle, up front, not on the left. And no matter who Simeone chooses, Griezmann, Correa, Julián or Sorloth, Atletico has the firepower and the scoring ability. So for me, this game could be easily both teams to score 167. Otherwise, over 2.5 goals is something that I really like as well. 173. We have spoken about Celta's scoring ability. I have mentioned Atletico de Madrid's quality up front. And there are some listeners who also go for this type of market, the goals market, like 𝗀𝗵𝐴, for example, and I can see why.
Well, only one win for Celta in the last 7 years between these two teams. The last 6 games between Atletico and Celta were won by Atletico de Madrid, including last season 3-0 at Balaidos, 1-0 at the Metropolitano. Both teams to score seems safe for Stone. Intrepid also going for both teams to score over 2.5 goals. So basically, all your picks, Alvaro, are also being agreed by our audience. Remember, next Sunday, Atletico de Madrid, Real Madrid, Atletico supporters are angry because this game is going to be played Thursday evening and Real Madrid is playing at home on Tuesday. Therefore, 2 days less of rest for
Conspiracy.
players. Conspiracy. This is because Real Madrid is the team of the government, of course, as everyone knows. Alvaro, safe bet for these midweek games?
Let's say it together. 1, 2, 3. Real Madrid to win the second half. 144.
Still pays good.
Yeah.
Still. And the ACCA?
It will be Sevilla to win this time. Real Madrid to win the second half. Asian handicap minus 1.5 for Barcelona. Altogether 416.
Spice it up. 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏𝗏 to score the last goal, for instance.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He should play more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give him. If he's so brave to get married at the age of 18, I think he's done to play for Real Madrid and to do whatever he wants in his life. After this, you have to be a brave man to do this. Well, Alvaro, thank you. On Friday, we are back in Odds on La Liga, of course, with Alvaro to analyze the new match day next weekend. This is a non-stop. Thanks, Alvaro. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Chan, chan. Now we push the button.